Heartstopper, Tao Su. Let's talk about the show. What drew you to this character and what challenged you with him?
I really love how Tao, I've said this a lot now, I really like how Tao kind of says what he thinks, and he's very opinionated, and he's not afraid to say his opinion. And I think that's really kind of cool, and I wish I did that more. And he's just really unapologetically himself in a way, and that drew me to him. And the challenges for me, I'm quite different from that. I'm quite kind of I'd say I'm not very kind of opinionated on a lot of things that he is. So that was a challenge to kind of really click in with that kind of fire. I won't say anger, but I'll say fire. The fire of Tao Su.
During the casting process, was there ever any concern about you being cast because of your height?
Yeah, I was really scared that I'd go into the final audition, which was all of us in a room. It was in person. I thought I was going to be way too tall because in the books, obviously, he's shorter. But it seemed to not be a problem when I was there. And they followed the character as the first thing. Height wasn't as important. And so, yeah, it was fine. But I was a bit scared about the height. We had a few days where they kind of gave the director, Eros, wonderful director, he kind of came to us with a mood board about the show, the aesthetic, the color palette, and they just really went for it. And we also saw the props and the kind of little bags that we all had, the costumes, and I just loved it. I was in love with it from the second we rehearsed, when we started seeing how we were bringing this show to life. It was just amazing, and I was absolutely here for it, and I still am. On the first day, Alice did scene study and also like hot seating, which is an exercise where in character I go and sit down and the other cast members, the other actors, ask me questions about my past life, about everything. And I loved the hot seating exercise because I really got to delve and explore Tao and what he liked, what his favorite music was, what his favorite films was, completely unrelated to the script. And you get to build a character off the hot seating exercise. And for me, I got to really play with Tao's other interests, Tao's background, where his parents came from, what his story was. And I found that was really fun to explore, not only with Alice and Eros, the director, but the whole cast, which was really fun. Are you talking about the dance scene where it's all that kind of that stuff?
Yeah.
All that crazy, yeah. There's nothing that I can quite relate to the feeling of at 8 a.m. in the morning, like stone cold sober in front of like a 40-man camera crew, all with like masks and visors, no one laughing, no music. There's something really bleak about that situation, and having for 1 hour and a half to twerk and dance in front of all of those people, that was really quite a challenge. And I had practiced the dance to make it as ridiculous and silly as possible. And I did practice in the mirror the night before, I have to say, and I did show it in front of my sister and say, "What do you think? Is this really bad?" And she was like, "That's really bad." So when it came around to kind of doing it, I was like, "Yeah." But to dance to no music, and especially to twerk to no music, it's a different type of like pain.
Uncomfort level. Yeah.
It's so uncomfortable. And it was like 8 a.m. and I hadn't fully woken up. And yeah, and then also when you do take one, you have to keep it consistent for the rest of the shots.
Oh yeah, continuity, right?
You need that continuity. So I started with a crazy dance and I had to maintain it for like an hour and a half. And it was just intense. It was really good.
You did get to show it off. An episode later as well, there was more twerking outside the milkshake cafe. And I wanted like that whole line and rope thing with Tao and El. That was so cute. That must have been a little funner to film.
That was really fun, but that was in public. So you need to realize that we were in a public park then, and there was like casually people just walking like by with their dogs and just seeing me like twerking in front of like cameras. It's just so surreal. But that little kind of the fish thing that we kind of just did, we started doing that, and it was just, we kind of kept it going, and Yaz was like, "Yeah, that's really fun, let's keep that in." And the director was like, "Yes, that's good, do that, it's quite fun." So that was fun, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed the
Episode 7 was emotionally charged. You had the fight scene, Tao and Harry, and then going into that little confrontation with Charlie. So take me through filming on that day.
That was probably my most challenging day on set. Even more challenging than twerking at 8 a.m. I think we started with the scene. We started with the scene of the apple juice when he throws the apple juice at Harry, and he's got all this anger, and I kept this kind of anger going. And then like we started doing the real fight scene, and it was really intense because it felt really real because I couldn't see cameras anywhere. I have to At lunch. I said I have to have a moment. I had to go into my dressing room and kind of watch La La Land and eat apples and kind of calm down. Really intense and a lot of work. And by the end, my muscles, just every muscle in my body was aching.
And working with the stunt coordinator, you mentioned, like, what kind of exercises did you do with them prior to filming? Like, did you and Cormac have to rehearse it a lot?
Yeah, so what we did was we went through it once. We went through each scene once and we read through it. Sorry, Rupert's getting ready. Rupert, it's crazy. Yeah, so we rehearsed the scene, and also Cormac had a body double. So we rehearsed it. We had like crash mats and stuff, and he just gave us little techniques to kind of be able to kind of do it safely and without actually hurting ourselves. It was great. Yeah, really, really good. Because I think if I hadn't had that, it would have I probably bruised myself a lot more than I actually did. Bye. Where's Rupert? Oh, I can't find Rupert. Oh no, Rupert's sleep. He's sleeping right underneath the computer, so we'll leave him to sleep.